right, ladies and gentlemen, Barstool Backstage, and on the guest list today, longtime friend. We go back since 2021. Probably the first guest we had that really broke it big. Grammy nominated. Got a new record coming out. Teddy Swim's in the building.
Hey,
how are you,
man,
buddy?
appreciate you, baby.
Oh my God.
We're so happy.
No, legitimately, this was one that like we got the confirmation and we're like, this is full circle.
Dude, honored to be here, man.
I flew in from Chicago. He trained up from Philly. Would not miss this for the world.
Hell yeah, thanks, boys.
Huge night tomorrow for you, huh?
Yeah, dude, I'm really pumped, man. We're doing a big, release, and the album's coming out, and dude, I couldn't be more excited. I hope it's and luckily for us too. I think The Weeknd was supposed to drop his album tomorrow or Friday too, and then he pushed it back to the 31st.
Smart guy.
I like to think it's because like he got spooked.
You intimidated
by it,
The Weeknd,
but I know that's not true, but. I know maybe it came up in conversation though. Maybe he was like, "What about that Teddy Swims record?"
I like the picture of The Weeknd sitting in like a dark room, kind of like just red lights on him, just trying to have a real business conversation. Like, but the Teddy Swims album, and he's like, "Push it, just push the album."
Like I doubt it, but that means a lot.
I love it.
So I wish he'd wait a couple more weeks, man.
So
appreciate the week though, buddy.
So I've tried everything except therapy too.
Yeah.
I have to ask you, was this usually when you see part 2 records or albums released, it's some songs that didn't make the cut on the first one or got reworked. Is this along those lines, or is this all new stuff that you've written since the first album? There's
a couple of songs that we kind of rewrote and reworked, but for the most part, we had a bunch of songs that we were going to carry on through to the second one. That was, I think, the original idea. But I think after the first one, I was kind of just in such a place with a person that I was with, and I was just emotionally and down bad, heartbroken, and
it was a lot, man.
Yeah, and so I felt like. With the second one coming around, I wanted to kind of go to therapy and fall in love again and all these things that happened, because I feel like we just left the listener on just turmoil, last time. And so I wanted to kind of communicate. This next one it's got like some love songs in it, and I fell back in love, and I'm having a kid, and Grammy nominated, and so thank you, man. And so I think this second album is kind of brings a little closure and a little self-healing to it, and I think it just could show myself and the listener that sometimes it feels so hard to get out of that situation, but when you do, down the line, there's love and support and success and a baby, and there's an answer to these things. And I felt like I just left them with no answer originally, just sadness. So I wanted to be like, look, it gets better.
Yeah. Part 1 was there's no way out. Part 2 is like, we got out. It's good. We're good.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I love that, man. That's so true too. Like when you're going through it, it doesn't make sense, and you think you're never gonna get through it and things will never be better. And then when you look back, it kind of all makes sense, and you see why you went through what you went through.
It shaped me, and it's hard to be mad at somebody that broke your heart that made you a millionaire. What I mean? So it's like,
cut the check.
Now I'm like, thanks.
Well, it's funny because in all of our experiences talking, it kind of comes back to our first conversation where we were talking about the situation you were in before the fame, where you're like, I was sleeping on a bed on the floor, and I was just with my buddies, and we were trying to make it, and we were cutting YouTube covers. And then you found your way out of that, and you got to the first stage. And then you go through the other real life stuff, and then you make it to the next album, and you make your way out of that. Like, what's next? Like, what could possibly, obviously you're going to have to go through the turmoils of fatherhood. That's one thing, which, by the way, we're going to have a conversation about that.
Yeah,
I'm about to put you on game. But no, I mean, just looking forward, like, I guess this leads me more back to a question of where we left you last time was we were starting the process of kind of this upward trajectory.
Yeah.
And then there was a 3-year gap, and now we're here. What have the last 3 years been like? Because you've been everywhere.
I'd spend nonstop touring and growing and healing, and I'm so grateful, truly. I think
and slimming down, man.
Well, I slimmed down a little further than this and put some back on. Now working back slimming down again. A lot of weight fluctuation.
You look great.
I appreciate it.
Touring does not help trying to get under
dude,
control.
I know, man. Well, I think I'm finally getting into a habit of finding the hotel gym and trying to make sure I get there. But yeah, it's easy to just be like tequila it out and 3 a.m. Taco Bell.
Tequila
you know what
it
I mean?
out. You stop at the 7-Eleven. You get the taquitos.
Yeah,
you try one of each.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I know that game.
Man, I like those little. There's like these little like buffalo chicken rollers.
Yes,
man, you know.
dude.
Oh damn! I'll fuck those up,
Of
bro.
all things that I can talk to touring musicians about, it's about gas station food. Like it's the realest shit.
Yeah, we were just talking about Buc-ee's, a little bit ago too, because I had man, my girl was on tour with me, and we had just finished Austin City Limits, and this is when we found out we were pregnant. So,
Bust out the taquito.
well, yeah, so we had stopped. I told him to stop by Buc-ee's because she was like, "What's a Buc-ee's?" And I was like, I had like half of my clothes. I wear Buc-ee's all the time. You don't know what Buc-ee's is? I was like, it's literally the Disney World of gas station truck stops. It's the happiest place on earth. It
truly is.
And so we had actually gotten these little onesies, and our day off, the next day, we went and all of us went to go get Chili's, and me and her on our little matching Buc-ee's onesies. And so, she had been complaining like kind of about like, I guess it was what she was like, well, surely my period's coming because of these symptoms. And I was like, well, these symptoms have been on the way for like a month, sis. I don't know if I think it might be pregnancy,
We might want to go check on this.
Yeah. And so we did like 3 pregnancy tests, and it was just like boom, 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 like immediate, like pregnant, and we're in these Buc-ee's onesies. So I always joke with her, like, whatever we're having, that I'm calling the baby Bucky.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, dude.
That's actually a good nickname.
My dog Bucky, yeah.
That's a good nickname.
Bucky swims.
Either way.
Yeah, Bucky swims.
Oh my god.
You know what messed me up?
What messed you
down
up?
south on tour? Cookout.
Cookout's amazing.
Oh God, yeah, dude.
I never seen a cookout before.
The
Those-
tray, man, where you can get the quesadilla, the chicken nuggets, and the burger all at once. It's crazy.
Dude, it's like the most unhealthy menu on the planet, but they're open. They're everywhere.
Everybody's a vegan until they go on tour.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
the
I
options
could-
go
I could-
away.
Speaking of Chili's, you got to be their most famous former employee.
Yeah,
at this
well,
point.
actually, what's crazy too is I was just on Kelly a bit ago, and she said she worked there really briefly too. And so I was like, I think Kelly might have me, but I worked there for about a year. So
The stories I've heard you tell on other podcasts about your time at Chili's, I was telling Colin earlier. You got to give. Colin was like, he worked at Chili's. I was like, dude, I got to get him to tell at least one of these stories about how bad were you really as bad as you say you were at waiting tables?
yeah, I'm not. I was not good at all. I definitely. I think the first time I ever waited tables before even Chili's, I think the first guy I ever worked with was this guy Roger. His name was Roger Waters. Weirdly too. It's like yeah, weirdly, right? I remember him telling me like, "Bo, you are the worst waiter I've ever met. You forgetful, table 3, still waiting on their ranch dressing for 3 hours now." And I was having nightmares about that back then.
Oh man, the restaurant dreams are the shittiest.
I remember him
dude.
being like, "You know what, man? But I see the checks, and you're getting like you're doing some of the best money here, and I don't know how." And he's like, "You taught me." He said, "You have taught me fraud." Yeah. No, he said, "You have taught me the value of charisma, man. Charisma and charm is like people don't remember what you do. People remember the way you make them feel,
Right.
And so if you make somebody feel loved and appreciated and feel like you care about them and you do care about them and you have a great conversation, and they can get over ranch dressing,
At the Grammys, can you please shout out Chili's if you win?
Oh God.
I want that Roger Waters and Chili's.
Well, they're gonna have to pay some money for that, man.
No free shout outs.
I mean, that's the biggest. If I'm the marketing firm,
Oh,
that
yeah, they're
Chili's has,
already getting too much out of us. So next question.
Yeah, you're right. But
Bleep out Chili's.
they
No, it's okay.
should be banging down your door, man, to cut them the next baby back
Right,
ribs.
man. Yeah. That would be.
You should be.
I want my baby back. Yeah, that would be crazy to do the
No,
new
sample
version of
it.
that.
That is the biggest no-brainer in the world for marketing.
That's hot. Yeah, that's a
Oh,
good
dude,
idea.
They put them right back on the map. But all right, not to jump ahead, but you brought up the Grammys. I mean, I'm not surprised. I was just gloating before you got in here. I think it was 2020. I heard you at the Budweiser House.
Yeah.
And you were opening. I forget who was the headliner that night. Steve Aoki was there. You opened for somebody, but I went because Aoki was there. Heard you, was fucking floored. I looked up your YouTube, started seeing all the covers. They were big, but they weren't close to what happened after I think the Shania Twain one was
yeah.
really blasted
Yeah, that
you
was
up.
crazy.
But I wrote a blog on Barstool, and I was like, Teddy Swims, get familiar with the name. He's going to be a megastar. So we're the last people that are surprised by this. So we see the nominees come out for the Grammys this year. You're obviously on there. I mean, what the fuck is that feeling?
Dude,
like?
it's so cool, man. And you know, I had posted a video of calling my dad too, and you know, we just watched it earlier too, and I can't watch it without crying. He's just like,
he's not surprised though.
No,
is he?
no, but he's just like, you know, hot dog, buddy. Look what you built, son. Look what you did, man. You know, and he's so proud, dude. I'm so proud of you. And hearing that's the win already for me. You know, Dad being like, he's my hero, man. So and just to be a part of this year's like best new artist, I say this every time. I think it's the best like rookie class ever.
It's unbelievable.
You know, it's true legacy artists, all of them.
So it's you, Chappell Roan,
Yeah.
Shabuzi,
Carpenter.
Yeah, Sabrina
Doechii.
Carpenter. Yeah, Doechii, Benson Boone, of course, and Ray's in there. And
Yeah.
I think I'm missing one other person. I feel bad if I am, but yeah.
It's loaded.
I mean, that's true because we were talking just like on the podcast about like if you were going to lay money on this, who would you put your money on? And it's like this is legitimately not a year. Usually, there's one person that sticks right out. You're
Yeah.
like, that's it. And good.
No. You finish what you were saying, but I'm going to follow up with
No,
this.
I was gonna say like for us, like I mean, we're friends with Shabuzi too. We've had
Oh,
Shabuzi
my
on recently.
dog, man.
He's a great guy. But overall, I mean, just to look at kind of the state of the young artists in music, a lot of you guys have had long roads. Like I mean, Chappell Roan put her first stuff out in like 2016.
That's what I was going to say though. And I'm not talking shit about anyone else here. I'm not speaking for you at all, but if we're talking legit best new artists, a lot of these nominees have just finally broken through. They've been out there for a while. Teddy's literally fucking working at Chili's 4 years ago.
Yeah. Teddy Swims became, I guess the artist named Teddy Swims has been around for 5 years now. But I mean, I was in a bunch of shitty bands for years as well. But I think, I guess as far as the artist Teddy Swims, it's 5 years old. But I mean, you know, I think really though, Benson Boone is somebody that, man, one of the sweetest human beings. And God, everybody hates the perfect person, you know? And Benson Boone is just like, when I first met him, I was like, I really want this guy to like just be mean or something.
Yep.
Like, be asshole. And he's the sweetest human being in the world. And I was like, God, dude, because I remember watching him on American Idol when he like goes to try out American Idol, and he's like, I think he's like 18, ripe and fresh, and he's like, you know, I just started singing last year, and and now he's been singing for like all of 3 years, and he's like one of the greatest singers on the planet.
Like that.
And then he's like, you know, he just comes from a beautiful family and has like a beautiful life and beautiful person. And I'm just like, I mean, I want that for my child, you know. I want to know that like life is like that. But I'm like, damn, I had to like suck for so long to get here, bro.
Did you ever try out for The Voice or for
No,
American Idol?
I think for me it was always like doing those things was always like a. I didn't want to be, because I remember when I was waiting tables at places too, and we had like booked somebody to come to the bar or something, and it would be like, you know, The Voice. Top 12 finalists from season 5 is going to be here, and it's like, I just don't want them to ever. I didn't ever want them to claim like Teddy Swims from season 9, top 12 is like here, or season winner, and I just don't really, you know. I think the only person we really still know is Kelly, you know. So like from American Idol, so I just felt like they were just going to kind of own it. And dude, the things you have to sign when you go into those places are like the terms are so trash, and you're like, and they're basically kind of like auction you off to a label, or if you win, you get this, like, it's such a shitty 360 deal and stuff. And I do believe it's so kind of, I remember when we were first taking like meetings and stuff out here and in LA for like labels and stuff. And I remember them trying to get me on those shows to like come be, you know, a person on those shows. And it was like almost like guaranteeing like, oh, you're going to win, you know? And it was just like, I think it's like a little bit, I don't know. I don't want to throw that out there and like ruin the magic. But I don't know if that's quite true, but it just felt a little politically, and
it's marketing. They're marketing stars before, you know, like
it just seemed a little bit like fake, and the terms were just so tragic, and I was just
they own you whether you make it or not.
And it's gross, man. And I was just like, dude, I'm doing this on my terms, and I want a good deal. I don't want to like be giving 80% of my touring and merch and music and like I'm not doing that.
Was your negotiation process when you went in for label meetings because you had heat behind you? Did you get what you wanted? Did you?
Yeah, totally. And I think
you got to tell him. I heard you talk about this again. Tell him about the leverage you used with the YouTube stuff. I love that. I love that story.
Yeah, dude. We had even with Warner, like when we were going into Warner, we had our first song. This song is so bad now. I don't know why they signed me. This song, Picky, our first song. We had went in there and was like, look, we're gonna put this song out, and whether you sign us or not, so we got to get this deal done. Because if this song explodes, then and I mean, we got all of our terms, and they've been so wonderful to me and developed me over the last 5 years. I love, man, Warner Records is the best team in the world, man. So
they are the best.
Do you know Bree? Bree Small?
Oh yeah, sure,
She's the best.
They were very good to us.
They take such good care of us.
But I will say, I love hearing artists go in on their terms and get what they need.
Yeah.
That shit makes me so happy. Especially you probably walk there with a fucking smile on your face, like, "Hey guys, how are you? This is what we're gonna do." Fuck.
Who's your muscle?
Yeah, sitting right here.
Yeah, that's the guy right there, man. That's my dog Drew, man.
You have
a
man. You're like the perpetual good cop. Who's your bad cop? You gotta have somebody that
you have to have like a dog lawyer or something like that.
Well, yeah, dude. I'm gonna say, man, my manager Luke Conway, dude. That motherfucker's he's a shark, bro. He knows, dude. That man is scared the life out of you, man. He's a young dude too, and we've navigated this all together, and he's just been like has my back no matter what. There's so many times too, which I think is a good thing for managers like to know too. Like is that what he's always done has been even when we disagree on something or he agrees with the label. We've had these fights before where I've been like, look, dude, I don't care if you agree with the label. Like, it's my life. They can move on to something else. So I need you to have my fucking back here or you're going to make both of us look stupid if you agree with them and we're not together on this. So I think he's always been like, if I disagree with you, I'm still going to have your back because that's my job as your manager to have your fucking back, even if I disagree with you. And I think that's just like, he's truly the person that is the fucking best at this job.
All right. I have to ask you this because it's so rare nowadays between Luke and someone like your father. How do you do such a good job of finding and attracting people that are so loyal and have your back to the extent that they do?
Well, I think just always constantly being honest and vulnerable and open and never being I'm trying to be the most authentic version of myself all the time. And I think when you do that and you're willing to get hurt and vulnerable, I think it attracts some people also that might take advantage of you. You get stepped on a good bit in your life. Oh, yeah. But I think those people wean themselves out, when they're not gonna like when you don't compromise your integrity for anything. The people that find you and stick around are the ones that stick around because they love your heart. They don't want your heart to change and they love your integrity and you're an example of integrity. You're an example of honesty. You're an example of vulnerability. And that's, I think, always comes down to what my father taught me. Emotional intelligence and vulnerability is like just honesty. Just don't lie. No, there's no reason to be anybody but you. And I think people, I guess, respect that, Then
why are you in this industry? Because this is not an industry built for people who are honest and open. And this is such a shark place and such a now, once again, I'm not jaded. I'd say I mean my eyes are open because I've been taken advantage of in the past. Like, you've gotten so lucky to a certain perspective to have people that have taken you for who you are, and for the kind of man you are, and they're not trying to exploit it. They're like really guiding you through the industry and through your ups and downs and stuff like that. Like you realize how lucky and fortunate that is.
Yeah,
right?
man, I am, and I think it's this only entertaining that. I can genuinely say that in my life I haven't ever had anybody, even when I was not very good at this. I think I've never had anybody in my life, and I don't know if that's just because out of a lot of luck, of course, but out of also like what I entertain in my life is that like. This is who I'm going to be, and this is what I'm going to be, and all I've ever wanted to be was this, and this is what I'm going to do, and there's no other option. And so, anybody in my life that says this is not something I can be or do, then like they're just not in my life. And they're not cut out to be in my life. I don't have people in my life that it's like. You can't say that. You can't do that. I just like, fuck you, get out of my face. That's not. You're not for me.
One thing I love about you is how. Most of us grow up and are teenagers and, want nothing to do with our parents and whatever, black is white and the complete opposite of what they say. but you had this super supportive father who almost like believed in you more than you did. And you tapped into that. And I've heard you speak about the importance of having an adult figure in your life as a kid who, you know, not just tells you to chase your dreams, but just that, you know, believes in you and things that can do. I wanted to, I know I just framed that horribly, but I wanted to make sure I brought that up to you because I think that that's something that is so important for people to hear nowadays because it's just like almost non-existent.
Yeah, I think I'm so lucky to have a father like that because so many people don't have a father, or let alone a good one or a supportive one, or try to force them to be what they think a man should be or something. And I think I'm just so lucky to have a father, fortunate to have an example of a man that terrifies me to give him a grandchild because I'm scared I'm not going to be cool at all compared to him. You know what I mean? Like that's a tough shadow to live in, you know, but I'm so glad I'm already so stoked watching him be a granddaddy and like watching him. I can't wait to see him like just absolutely crush it. Cause I mean, he used to have to discipline me as well. And I just don't think I'm going to have any help in that department. I think he's going to fucking absolutely melt at my kid. And so I'll be like, dude, you gotta help me here, Pops. You can't just be cool all the time.
You think that until the first time you haven't slept for a couple days. And then you're like, you know what? I can be the disciplinarian if I need to. Dude,
yeah.
It's the God's honest truth. Cause I see my son and like instantly I'm like, what's up, dude? You know what I mean? Like I love my son to death. But if I have, enough days consecutively where I don't sleep, discipline will come out, dude. It's not a problem.
Yeah, my dad was great at that, dude. My dad was just, I mean, he could raise his voice and we just cry.
Oh, yeah.
It was always just a fear of disappointing him all because I was like, I just want to be like, looking at him since I was a kid. I got 3 brothers too, and all of us just wanted to make him. We were puppy dogs to him. We just wanted to please him, and it was easy to do, and it was easy to get rewarded for please. He was always so proud of you, and so if you even got the slightest like look of just like, damn, you did that, son, you're just like, that's all the punishment I needed from him. He didn't have to do too much to discipline us other than just be like, I mean, turn around and yell when me and my brother are fighting and just be like, yes sir, sorry.
What
sir.
are you most excited about on the fatherhood front? Because obviously this is the biggest change you'll ever go through in your entire life.
I'm really looking forward to, of course, like, planting the seeds. Like, what is your favorite color and stuff like that, and what's your voice going to sound like? But I think most importantly, I think the balance of right now, I feel like I'm always so go get it, and working all the time. And I say this all the time. There's a 10-year-old on TikTok who's better at both of our jobs than we are.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so I'm always feeling like there's this urgency to go get it and win and be the biggest I could possibly be. And I think that I never really quite. I'm trying to learn, to be present in so many moments. And also like, even if I'm sitting watching TV or watching a Netflix show that I don't feel like I need to get up and go do something. And so I'm really looking forward to having that time with my child and maybe doing nothing at all, but saying, this is the most valuable way. This is the most productive way I can spend my time and making my work time more productive because I'll be present for that and making my home time more productive and being present for that and finding that true balance in life and being able to say like, there is no time wasted at all in my life because this is all going towards a example and a legacy that I'm building and hoping that I'm cooler than my dad.
Bro, you already care. You already care so much about the role you're about to step into. You're going to be a great dad.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I'm really pumped.
And now, on the other hand, just get prepared for all the negative sides. You won't sleep. You're going to gain weight. You'll lose weight. It's one of the two. You're going to stop eating or you're going to eat more. One of the two. I don't know which one it is. But yeah, dude, just fucking sleep when you can. Sleep like a Marine. Like, I don't know. Like, you're going to have to find 10-minute naps to put your feet up in the middle of the day and just bang out. But that's all you got.
I'm pumped.
Talking about production, I mean, the last 2 years you've been nonstop. Oh, yeah. I mean, you were in Europe for how long?
Yeah, we went,
Arena
I think,
tour.
8 times last year, too.
Jesus.
I mean, what's it like over there?
Oh, I love it, man. I mean, we're going in our first arena run out there, so it's really cool. It's paid off. It's done its dividends of just us going over there and being nonstop over there. And
were you worried? Were you like, do they know who I am over here?
Well, you know, I'm more famous there than here. This is like there in Australia, New Zealand, we crush it. I think this is
awesome.
I'm waiting on America to catch up. You know, which
awesome.
I hope we do. But I mean, it's a beautiful place. I love the UK, man. I love the UK. Dude, I love Antwerp. Like Belgium is so sick, dude. There's so many cool places, and I mean, Australia is my favorite place in the world. I think.
Really?
New Zealand, Australia is like the coolest shit in the world for me.
Speaking of America, you blended a few different American musics recently because you worked with, what was it, you, Quavo, and
Luke Bryan? Yeah.
I have a question on that. So there was a clip that went viral on Twitter. And it was,
dude, that was not me.
yes,
that was
this is
not
where I'm
me.
going
What
here.
talk about.
This is what I'm going with. So I'm on Twitter, and it's like, I don't know, like Rap TV or something, and it's like Quavo takes Teddy Swims to the strip club, and I look, and it's like a slow zoom up on the guy getting a lap dance, and it's like just some other random dude. And I'm like,
well, dude, also, which was wild. There was the guy that was the bearded guy that they think was me. This guy had dreads. He was a black man, you know, which is it's hard to confuse me for a black man with dreads. I'm just saying that. Which is, you know, like I think they just saw two dudes on the stage and then Quavo throwing money, and they were just like, this is hilarious. I just don't know how it went that viral. And also at the time, I couldn't say, I got kids on the way and shit. I can't be. So I couldn't even say. I couldn't even. I just had to let it go. I couldn't be like, look, dude, my baby mama would murder me if I was out in Magic City right now.
There's nothing like getting a text from your girl being like, look, I know this isn't you, but this wasn't you, right? You weren't in like a wig. What the fuck, man?
Yo,
yeah, he put on a dread wig. Like,
what'd you think of Luke?
What?
What'd you think of Luke?
Luke Bryan?
He's a character.
Oh
huh?
man, he's so cool, dude. Well, you know, one of my like dearest friends, and I call him my Uncle Bump, man. Dallas Davidson. He's Dallas Davidson.
Friend of the show.
Dude, Dallas Davidson is like he's one of my
the best
longest
songwriters
time. Yeah,
of all
dude.
time.
He helped me from the beginning of my career with Bet on Fire too.
I didn't
and
know
so,
that.
Yeah,
No
dude. He's
shit.
one of my dearest friends, and so when I finally got to work with Luke Bryan, and you know, I just saw them recently at the CMAs too, and I told him I was having a baby and stuff, and I think one of the things Luke Bryan told me, I was talking to Thomas Rhett, and he said, man, one of my favorite things, Luke Bryan, I have to tell you this story. He said, he's going to tell you this. He said, man, you think, man, he's telling these young athletes and stuff in college before they went to the NFL, and he said, man, tell you what, bud, $1 million ain't shit. Once you start planning on buying the car and the boat and the house and having kids, $1 million ain't shit, buddy. And I was like, damn, that's true. That stuff is already spoken for. It's in and out the door, man.
He said, I was at Chili's 4 years ago. I'll take $1 million.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
You know, I mean, $20 still means what $20 means, but I mean, he's totally right, man. $1 million just ain't shit. It's once you start getting 70 people on your staff and doing arenas and pyro people and background scenes, you know, it's just like, dude, that money's gone before it even comes in the door.
I can't wait to find out about all that. It's gonna be fucking sick, dude.
What?
I can't wait.
Thinking about where you are now and where you came from, I know you're a big manifestation guy, which I love. Did you foresee this?
Hell yeah, man. Yeah.
Great answer.
It's the only way you can. I don't, man. I find myself when I get to these like places where it's like instead of feeling so nervous, I'm always just like, about damn time, you know. Fucking,
I've seen this moment many times in my head. It's about time it becomes reality.
Yeah, and I, you know, it doesn't look as like exactly like I thought it would. You know, it comes with its own challenges and its own things, but it feels so good to be like, hell yeah, man. You can do whatever you set your mind to, man.
Fuck.
What about what was going through your mind when we were at the Dave Portnoy's first annual Pizza Fest in Coney Island, and it was a monsoon outside?
Dude, we ended up having a blast though. It got a little sketchy for a minute with the gear and the rain and stuff, but we pulled it off.
Your poor band, I told Colin, this guy's drummer was playing under a tarp. he had a tarp on top of him, and he's playing the drums.
Show goes on, baby.
Yeah, it does, man.
You had a poncho on.
That's show business, baby. Yes, sir.
Rain's hitting you in the face, and you killed it, man.
It's actually ended up being one of the funnest shows ever because I think those people out there too to watch it were like, when you get a crowd that stands in the rain, they go harder for you than anybody because they not only appreciate you being out there in the rain, but they really appreciate you to be out in the fucking rain for you, you know. And I think the shows I've played where it's been raining like that, I think they've ended up being like some of the coolest fucking shows.
out of the past 4 years, is there one show memory, just being on stage and just being like, I literally can't believe I'm fucking doing this right now?
Yeah, dude. Okay, I'll tell you this one funny ass story too. So I'm performing. I had just had this like TikTok viral cover of the Don't Stop Believing, kind of go crazy for me. And Neil Sean from Journey, he hits me and my pianist up that's in the video, and he's like, look, dude, you know, we start chatting and going back and forth, and he asked me to come perform with them for there's this like, it was a Christmas tree lighting, not this past Christmas, but the one before that. And we're at San Francisco at Chase Stadium where the Golden State Warriors play, and they're doing this Christmas tree lighting outside. And so I get to sing Wheel in the Sky, Don't Stop Believing, and Lights with them. And it was the coolest thing. So, you know, we're singing, I'm playing, and this is I think the most iconic thing that's ever happened to me on stage, playing with Journey, singing for Journey actually. And so I go down, I mess up some words and lights, you know, and at the time I go down to hit a split to just like kind of redeem myself. And I used to do these splits on stage all the time. This is what made me retire, doing the splits on stage. So I go down, hit this split. I'm wearing black jeans like this anyway. And so I'm standing up, I'm yapping and talking, and I hear somebody come over my ears because there's the big screens behind us, you know, that show us, and I guess they zoom in from our full bodies to like just here up, and somebody goes over my ears and says, Teddy, put your jacket back on. You ripped your pants. And so I kid you fucking not, man. I don't even feel it, but
Front or back?
Dude, I had ripped from here all the way down to here. And I'm fucking not wearing any damn panties, by the way, bro.
Jesus Christ.
There's one moment where the drummer's going, there's lights, he's going through a solo and he's playing, and he's on a riser. And so at some point, I jump up on the riser in front of him like, doing this number.
Oh my God.
Dude. Your ass in his face.
Not in his, I was facing him. My ass to 10,000 men, women, and children. My asshole, dude. And balls and everything, bro.
I just picture your in-ears. You hear the click track and you just hear.
Dude, I know they
Teddy,
saw it, bro.
I can see
I
your
know
dick
it
and balls right
happened.
now.
And so I was so scared that they were going to be like, that's him, officer.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's how we end this interview. Teddy Swims, we're pulling for you at the Grammys. We're pulling for you with the new record. Drops on Friday.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you want to plug? I mean, you got the world is your oyster. Say whatever you want.
Man, I love you, dude.
I love you too, man.
Yeah, I'm happy, dude. I've had a blast.
You're the best.
Congratulations
You are
on
too,
everything, bro. Enjoy Fatherhood. Thank you for talking to my mom. We love you.
Yeah, love you, bro.